December 31st, 1985, a group of men walked into a helicopter tour agency, smiled for the camera, boarded a chopper like tourists, and 15 minutes later, were raining gunfire down on a maximum security prison. What if I told you? The man they were there to rescue wasn't just any prisoner, but a cartel commander who ran death squads, cocaine routes, and had half the city in his pocket. And what if I told you? The plan actually worked. This is not a movie. This is Brazil. And this is how one of the most dangerous men in the country escaped prison in broad daylight. With a helicopter, a handful of guns, and a ghost-like plan no one saw coming. José Carlos dos Reis Encina, known to the streets as Escadinha, was a legend in Brazil's underworld. A commander in the Red Command, or Comando Vermelho, he wasn't just a drug lord. He was a strategist, a ghost. In the slums of Rio de Janeiro, Escadinha controlled favelas like kingdoms, protected by lookouts with radios, soldiers with rifles, and neighbors too scared to speak his name. The government finally caught him in 1985, but putting him behind bars was just the beginning, because Escadinha never planned on staying there. And somewhere deep inside the prison, the blueprint for escape was already unfolding. December 31st, 1985. Angra dos Reis, a private airfield near the edge of the city. A group of 3 men walks in, dressed like tourists, one even wearing sunglasses and a Hawaiian shirt. They book a helicopter tour. Smiles, small talk. Nothing suspicious. Minutes after takeoff, at cruising altitude, the vibe shifts. A 9mm pistol presses against the pilot's neck. Another man pulls out a grenade, pin intact, but thumb tight on the trigger. Change of plans, one of them says. We're going to the prison. Coordinates are read from a crumpled piece of paper. The pilot nods, terrified. No one in Rio de Janeiro knows it yet, but one of the most audacious escapes in modern history is already in motion. Instituto Penal Cândido Mendes wasn't built for attacks from the sky. It had watchtowers, fences, and guards. But no one ever thought to look up. Inside, Escadinha is already prepared. His allies on the outside had coordinated everything. Timing, approach, landing spot. As the helicopter drops lower, guards on the ground realize what's happening. But it's too late. Bullets fly from the towers. The helicopter wobbles. One of the commandos leans out the door and returns fire with an automatic weapon, possibly an Uzi or compact AK. Escadinha is already on the roof. He sprints across the concrete, crouching low under fire, and leaps into the cabin like he's done it before. 3 seconds later, they're airborne. And the prison? Powerless, humiliated, watching the sky as their most dangerous inmate disappears into the clouds. The chopper heads south, flying dangerously low to avoid radar. In the back, Escadinha sits calm, smiling. They land 40 miles outside Angra dos Reis in an open field. Waiting nearby, 2 cars, engines running. Escadinha jumps in one, the others scatter. The helicopter is abandoned. Escadinha switched cars, clothes, and vanished into the sprawl of Rio de Janeiro. By the time police track the flight path and locate the chopper, Escadinha is already blending into the urban chaos of Rio. The chopper was abandoned. The pilot survived, terrified, but alive. The ghost is gone again. The escape sends shockwaves across Brazil. TV channels go wall to wall. Politicians call it a national embarrassment. Military heads are forced to explain how a gangster slipped through with a stunt that felt like a Hollywood script. But to the Comando Vermelho, it was a celebration, a statement. They didn't just free their commander, they embarrassed the state, and they did it with style. Escadinha would remain a symbol of defiance, power, and precision planning. As the rotor blades vanished into the sky, Brazil woke up to a national nightmare. By morning, the headlines were merciless. Brazil's justice minister at the time called it a spectacular and embarrassing failure. In a hastily assembled press conference, with flash bulbs exploding and microphones pressed against his podium, the minister faced an avalanche of questions. This escape was not only audacious, he said, it was carried out with military precision. It's a national disgrace. He announced an immediate investigation into potential negligence or corruption among prison staff. Though the public had already formed its opinion, people were furious. They demanded accountability, but got silence, finger-pointing, and vague promises. Meanwhile, in Rio's favelas, the Red Command, Comando Vermelho, celebrated openly. They shot rifles into the air, set off fireworks, and partied like war heroes returning from battle. In alleyways and on rooftops, graffiti exploded overnight. The BBC reported that the celebrations were so brazen, so confident, that the gang appeared more like a victorious army than fugitives. But here's what no one talks about. This escape, it wasn't the last time a helicopter would descend on a Brazilian prison. And the next time, they brought an RPG.